Hi, this is Movie Man Chad, and now I'm going to talk about my honorable mentions and the worst of 2011. First off, honorable mention films. Cedar Rapids is a very, very funny film with a great cast. Ed Helms and John C. Reilly just have a great chemistry. They're very, very funny. I love Anne Heche in this film. I haven't seen a lot of her films, but she is really, really great. This year we got a Muppets movie. It's been almost 12 years since we had a Muppets film. It was great to see the gang back together again. Jason Segel and the rest of the cast did a fantastic job. It was great to see all the characters. They really brought all of them back, doing all the great things they've done in the past. I really love the Muppet movie. It's been a while since Tom Cruise had a really great, successful film. And Mission Impossible 4 is an awesome action film. It was great to see him back on the screen doing what he does best. This movie was a lot of fun to watch. Tom Cruise did a really great job, but so did Jeremy Renner, Simon Pegg, and Paula Patton. Man, she was very, very sexy. The director of this film was Brad Bird, who's mainly known for doing a lot of animation, from The Iron Giant to The Incredibles to Ratatouille. And now he finally makes a live-action film and he hits it out of the park. Attack the Block was a really great science fiction film about a bunch of foul-mouthed kids who tried to save their neighborhood from upcoming aliens who are taking over. It was a lot of fun, a lot of great music. The kids were really great, even though maybe you shouldn't root for them. They're not the greatest examples, but I really enjoyed them, and I found this movie to be very entertaining. Warrior, sadly, was a film that not a lot of people saw. It had a really great cast. Nick Nolte gives one of his best performances yet. He deserves an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actor. Maybe some people were worried that this might be just about fighting, and that's about it. But there's so much more to this film. I really loved Warrior. I highly recommend you go see it when it comes out on DVD. Is it out on DVD yet? This is more of a human drama than it is a fighting film. I hope that people will give it a chance once it comes out on DVD. In 2011, we had a lot of great superhero movies from the Marvel Universe. X-Men First Class, Captain America, and Thor. I really liked Thor the best. I liked the character development. I liked that he was like a fish out of water. He came from this really world where he had lots of power, and then he comes to Earth and he's got nothing. He's got to discover himself and to find his way through this new world. There were a lot of genuine moments of laughter in this film, and that really surprised me. This was my favorite superhero movie of the year. A Better Life is a small drama about an illegal immigrant and his son as they try to survive in LA. A lot of people didn't see this, and that's a shame. It was really quite good. I really hope the main actor gets some recognition. He really deserves it. I really felt for these characters. I cared about them. A Better Life is one of the better films of 2011. We Bought a Zoo starred Matt Damon and Scarlett Johansson. This movie really touched my soul. I really, really enjoyed it. The music was incredible. Cameron Crowe does a really great job. Most of his films, he gives you so much hope. I love the way that Cameron Crowe looks at the world and sees that there's a glimmer of peace, even when there's a lot of darkness. This movie really got to me, and I really cared about the characters. I'm so happy this movie is a true story, and that there really is a zoo out there in the world that's like this. And I'm really looking forward to someday going visiting it. The final honorable mentions I want to mention come from my favorite filmmaker of all time. That would be Steven Spielberg. He's had a really great year. He produced a lot of films this year and a lot of TV shows. But it was the films that he actually directed that I really want to talk about right now. War Horse and Tintin. I first had the opportunity to see War Horse, and I was really moved by this film. It was beautiful to look at. Whoever trained this horse did a fabulous job. Everything looked so real and fascinating. I was really touched by this movie. One thing I would have liked was better was that maybe it was split up in a few films, because I wish we had more time with the characters. The movie felt really rushed at times, and it would have been nice to get to know these people that the horse was interacting with. Spielberg also directed his first animated film this year. He collaborated with Peter Jackson on The Adventures of Tintin. I felt, when I looked into the eyes of these characters, they had a soul. I cared about them. They had great chemistry. Andy Serkis and Jamie Bell do some fabulous motion capture work, especially Andy Serkis. Now, there's a film that came out that I really want to talk about just for a little bit called Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Andy Serkis is great in that film and deserves an Oscar consideration. He might not get it, but hopefully in the future, Andy Serkis will be recognized for his great work. I saw this movie in 3D. It was gorgeous. It looked great. It was a lot of fun. I wish the story was more exciting, but the adventure was amazing. I wanted these characters to find the secret of the unicorn. Those were my honorable mentions this year. Now we're getting into the worst films of 2011. Oh no, I don't want to do this. Oh, do I have to talk about these films? I've enjoyed Adam Sandler. His last great film, in my opinion, was 2004's 51st Date. That was a really endearing film. But ever since then, I haven't really cared or laughed at any of his movies. They haven't done anything for me. There are times when he's working with another director that he puts off a really great performance. But the movies that he's made with his own production company have really just made me really just... I saw Just Go with it. All I want to say about this film is that Kevin Nealon is very, very funny. He's in the movie for about 5 minutes, and that Brooklyn Decker is really beautiful to look at. Sucker Punch. Zack Snyder is one of my favorite directors. He can really take somebody else's idea and make it his own. 300, Watchmen, great visual films. But Sucker Punch left me really, really cold. I wanted to really get into this movie, but we were never given the chance to find out what was real, what was fake. I felt cheated. Instead of getting a real good story, we were just given this really amazing looking action sequence. There's no doubt about those amazing looking action sequences. But I didn't care because I knew that this wasn't really happening. I walked out of this movie really ticked off. I don't know what to say. Your Highness was another big mistake. I wanted to find this movie funny. I wanted to care. I wanted to like these people. I love Danny McBride. Yes, he plays the same character in every film, but this time, I don't think he has a lot to do. It felt like just an excuse to be overly raunchy, try and center it in a medieval time, and then pass off as trying to be funny to an audience of today, of a modern time. And to me, none of it ever worked. I felt frustrated. I really wanted to laugh. And nothing ever really worked in this film. Terrible, terrible movie. Green Lantern was a superhero movie that I just didn't like this year. It was two different movies. One that was really interesting about a guy discovering his superpowers and going off to a faraway planet and meeting new and interesting people. And then he would come back to Earth and we'd be in this other film with these horrible humans who had nothing to offer, a villain that had nothing to offer. I didn't like the chemistry between the two main leads. I never felt that they really did like each other. I was disappointed. I wanted to, let's go back to the planet. Let's go back and meet all those interesting characters. I've seen one of the Green Lantern animated films, and it seems like there's a lot of great stories to tell about the Green Lantern, and I hope that whether they go for a reboot or direct sequel to this film, I'm going to be interested. I want to see if they can make me forget I ever saw this movie. I'm a big fan of Seth Rogen, but the Green Hornet was a mess. He plays a character that is so unlikable that I did not care. If he would have died in the first 10 minutes of the movie, I would have been so happy because I wouldn't have had to watch the next hour and 40 minutes. I didn't like his character. I didn't like him as a person. Seth Rogen is better than this. What went wrong here? I don't know. I'm done. Thanks to the critics that I like to follow and the critics here on YouTube, I didn't really see all the really terrible movies of 2011. But the worst movie that I saw in the theater was The Zookeeper. It was so bad that I couldn't even finish the film. I left. Probably after about 35, 40 minutes, I left. I haven't finished the film. I didn't find it funny. Maybe it got better. Maybe there's hope. Maybe on DVD I'll give it another chance and it might entertain me. As of the first 40 minutes, it was just so unwatchable. Kevin James is funny. He's got a likable personality, and he had a very, very successful show. But the material here is very childish. If I had a kid, they'd never be allowed to see this movie. I wouldn't show it to them. If maybe the last 40 minutes that I missed, maybe they could see that. Let me know if it's any good. But it was just so unwatchable. Is this what really passes off for family entertainment? I don't know. It's disturbing. Don't go see Zookeeper. Save your money and go see We Bought a Zoo. It's a much better film. Thank you for watching. You can follow me on Twitter at MovieManCHAD. You can like me at Facebook at facebook.com/MovieManCHAD. And if you're enjoying what you see here and you want to continue, subscribe to me.